Hey everybody, Troy Anderson here from KettlebellFatLossTraining.com and KBFatLoss.ning.com. Just got back from our trip to Utah. I missed my live meltdown workout last weekend, but I got a lot of good information. I want to share some of that with you today. As you can see, I told you we went up to Draper, Utah to the Iron Online Bash hosted by Dan John at his facility and by Larry Draper, of course. It was an awesome event. You can see I'm sporting my Juan Diego gear this morning. Pretty cool. And so I wanted to share one of the big tips that I picked up there. But first I want to tell you a little bit, because it's actually in conjunction with this about myself. Spent a lot of years of my youth in wrestling, and in wrestling, one of the legends of wrestling in the collegiate style of wrestling is Dan Gable. And for me, my wrestling coach in the wrestling career, it was a pretty formative experience for me, and I'll get into that. I actually have an article that I'm working on for that whole process. But if anybody's ever grew up in that age and era where Dan Gable was a legend as a wrestler and then as a coach at the University of Iowa, you'll know what I mean, and was very formative. And in Dan John, and part of the Iron Online Bash was about Dan John's new book, Never Let Go. Now, it's an excellent book, 400 pages of pure quality material. But Dan quotes, and it's one of the things we talked about a lot over the weekend, and I like to highlight in the, so I'm going to show you actually where it's at. I know the exact page now, because on my other two recordings that I put out, I didn't have audio, but I know where the page is, and I found it. Right here it is. I like to highlight in my books. Dan Gable's quote is, "If it's important, do it every day." And so, Dan Gable, the wrestling coach, quoted by Dan John, the ever so popular and very high quality strength and conditioning coach in his new book. Makes complete sense. If you want to get good at something, if you want to get good at fat loss, keep your nutrition spot on every day. If you want to get stronger at something like push-ups or pull-ups, do them every day. You can't do everything maximally every day and go for all out every day, but you can do it every day. And that's kind of the point behind it. So that's one of the things that we learned up there in Utah. A lot of other things, like I said, I got an article ready to go, but it's a great tip as far as what you should think about and what you should be doing in regards to something that you want to get good at, because it works. I kind of stumbled across that with my 100 reps of kettlebell every day for the first 100 days of 2009 here, that it definitely will get you better just by doing those extra workouts, those extra little lifts, whatever it may be. That's just 10,000 reps, which we'll get into that completely different. But this is a great book, very easy reading. It's basically a complete to date, actually, not, I mean, obviously it's his long, but of Dan's coachings, of his strength and conditioning programs he's with. There probably pretty much isn't anything that he hasn't tried. So there's a link below here to go get this book. It's not an affiliate link or anything. It's just me promoting a good friend of mine's book. I think it's excellent reading, easy reading, entertaining reading. Dan puts it in a way that is completely digestible, so to speak, for anybody and applicable. Especially if you're home exercises, working out at home by yourself, and kind of looking at stuff on the internet, picking up programs from guys that you think you might like and stuff like that. This is an absolute must-have. It's one of probably the top, as far as exercise is concerned, top 2 to 3 books that you want to have your hands on, especially if you're a home workout guy or gal. So have a great day. Stop by and check out the link below. It's a very, very excellent book. Very good people over at Iron Online who helped Dan put the book together. And be sure to stop over for our live workouts on Fridays at KBFatLoss.ning.com. Have a great day.